Today we will be working on lesson 4.8, solving radical equations. Now this video is for my regular classes. Now remember, every time you want to solve an equation, first of all you have to isolate the radical term, get rid of the radical by squaring or cubing or any other way, but get rid of the radical, solve for x, and check if your solution makes sense. Now this checking part, we're going to be doing it on the calculator, so make sure that you have one. Now let's start with number 1. Now as you can see, my radical is isolated. There's no number being multiplied, there's no number being added or subtracted, so it is by itself. So we're done with step number 1. Step number 2 is to get rid of the radical. So since the index is 2, so you square both sides. By squaring both sides, you got rid of the radical, so you have 7x minus 18 is equal to 5 to the power 2, which is a 25. Now you need to solve for x, so you add 18 to both sides. You will get that 7x is equal to 25 plus 18, which is a 43. You divide both sides by 7, and you get x to be 43 over 7. Now I prefer for you to keep it as a fraction form. Move this up so you can see it. So I prefer if you keep it in a fraction form, but it would also help to find what, let me reset my calculator. So I prefer to find 43, to keep it as a fraction, but find it as a decimal as well, to keep this also in mind. So x is equal to 6.14 as a decimal. Now after we solve it, we have to check if my solution makes sense. So how do I do that? Now on your calculator, so this is the calculator part to check my solution. On y1, you enter the left side of your equation, so you enter square root of 7x minus 18. On y2, you enter the right side of your equation, which is only 5. So let's do that. On y1, I enter square root. Now you can also use this method to solve, so if it's a multiple choice answer, you can choose to do it all on the calculator like I'm doing right now. It gives you the answer and everything. But if I ask you to show your work, then you have to do it the algebraic way and use the calculator to check. So then you graph. So on y1 you enter square root of 7x minus 18. On y2 you enter 5. As you can see, once you graph them, you're going to see a graph and a line, and they're going to intersect somewhere. Now what you are interested in, your solution is going to be the intersection of those two. So do you remember how to find this intersection? You do second, trace, and then number 5, and then you need to press enter 3 times. But make sure that you see the cursor. Where's the cursor? You see it? So let's move it until it gets over there. So try to move the cursor to the point of intersection. So using those arrows. So yes, the cursor is there. So press enter 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And as you can see, the intersection is going to be 6.14, which is your answer, 6.14. This is how you do it on the calculator. So your answer is going to be x is equal to 43 over 7. And yes, the answer does make sense as we saw on the calculator. Now let's move on to the next example. Now I want you to try to do number 2 on your own, but before you do number 2 on your own, watch 3 and then do number 2 on your own. So let's do number 3. Again, I need to isolate my radical. As you can see, there are numbers being multiplied, numbers being added, so let's always get rid of whatever is being added or subtracted first. So you add 24 to both sides. You get that 8 cubic root of x is equal to 24. Now after you get rid of the negative 24, try to get rid of the 8 by dividing by 8. So cubic root of x is equal to 24 divided by 8, which is 3. Now you need to get rid, so now you isolated your radical. Now you need to get rid of the radical. Now what is the index? 3. So you need to cube both sides to get rid of the radical. So the power has to be the same as the index for the radical to be gone away. So now x is equal to 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. So x is equal to 27. This is how you do it. Now you need to check, so this is the algebraic method. Now on the calculator you enter y1 to be the left side of your equation, so 8 cubic root of x minus 24. On y2 you can just keep it as 0 if you want to. Let me move it. So this is going to be your equation. So let's go to y1. I'm going to clear it, and it's going to be 8. Now to get the cubic root you have to go to math, and as you can see it's number 4. So just math, not second math. You go to math to get the cubic root, and then x, then you move over to stop the radical, minus 24. If you want, you can put on y2 0, but it doesn't really make any difference. You can just put y1. If y2 is 0, you can just not put it, and then you graph it. Now as you can see, I cannot see the whole graph. So what do? I have to fix my window, or you can just zoom out. So let's press number 3, press enter. Okay, there you go. Now every single time, so I can see every time y2 is 0, it means you need to find the intersection between your graph and the x-axis. So this point is the point you are interested in. So if there's no number, you have to find this intersection with the x-axis. So you go again to second, trace, number 5, which is intersect. Make sure that you see the cursor. If you want to move it to the point of intersection to be more precise, and then press enter 3 times. And then it will give you the intersection, which is 27, and there you go. Your answer is 27, so that is your solution. Again, if I ask you to show your work, you have to do it algebraically. If it's a multiple choice, you can just use your calculator to find the intersection. Sorry. Now, remember to do number 2 on your own. Now let's move on to the next part. Now, also I want you to do number 4 on your own. Number 5, I just want to remind you how to put the 4th root on the calculator. So I'm going to do this part just to show you how to put it on the calculator. But remember, 1 through 6 should all be, you have to be able to do it algebraically. So I'm going to do number 5. You have to isolate the radical, so you subtract 6 from both sides. So you will get 4th root of 2x plus 3 is equal to 7 minus 6, which is 1. Now since the index is 4, so you have to raise it to the 4th power. Now, since the power and the index are the same, the radical is gone, so you will get 2x plus 3 is equal to 1 times 1 times 1. So 1 to the power 4 is just 1. And then you subtract 3 from both sides. So you will get that 2x is equal to 1 minus 3, which is, let me erase it so you can see, 1 minus 3, which is a negative 2. Then you divide by 2, so you get that x is equal to negative 1. Now, again, you can do all of this on the calculator. Let's check our answer. So let's clear this. Remember to do the 4th root. It means you have to press 4 first because it's 4th root. Then you go to math and you press the one that has an x as an index, which is number 5. So see, the calculator understands that the number 4 that you entered should be the index of your radical. So then you enter 2x plus 3. Then you stop the radical by moving over. So then you add plus 6. So that's going to be the left side of the radical. On y2 you enter 7. There you go. So this is the left side, this is the right side. You graph it. You make sure that you can see the intersection between them. Now remember when you zoomed out, so you can zoom in. So I'm going to press number 2. So it would be clear. Now as you can see, you have the intersection over there. So you do second, trace, and then you press number 5, which is intersect. As you can see, the cursor is there, so press enter 3 times. And the intersection is negative 1, which is your answer. So yes, your solution does make sense, and you put x is equal to negative 1. Now remember to do all of the numbers that we didn't do together. So basically you need to do 4 and 6 from this page, and number 2 from the first page. Now let's move on to part B of this lesson. Now every time I give you 2 radicals, or you see two x's, then I will let you use the calculator. You don't have to do it algebraically. So the part B of this lesson is all on the calculator. Just do what we've been doing. And the first part of the lesson, which is 4.8a, you have to do it algebraically because I will ask you to show your work. And you can use the calculator to check your answer. But for 4.8b, every time you have two radicals or two x's, then you can use the calculator. So on y1, put square root of 3x plus 1. On y2, put square root of x plus 15. And let's graph them. So on y1, I'm going to clear this. I'm going to write square root of 3x plus 1. So as you can see, part B of the lesson is exactly the same concept. Oh, I entered 3 a couple of times, so I'm going to delete this. And then on the other one, I'm going to put square root. Let me clear this and put square root of x plus 15. There you go. You graph it. Now again, you are interested in the point of intersection. Now, it's always good to see in how many points. They might intersect in 2 points, so you need those 2 points. So let's zoom out. So I think they're gonna only be intersecting in 1 point. This is the point. So you go to second, trace, number 5, which is intersect, and you press enter 3 times. So as you can see, the answer is 7, x equals 7. X equals 7, and that would be your solution. Now let's move on. I want you to try to do number 2 on your own. Remember, you enter all of this on y1 and you enter this on y2, or you don't have to if it's a 0. So remember, every time this is a 0, it means you need to see where your graph, whatever it is, intersects the x-axis. So remember, you have to go to math and get the cubic root, which is number 4. Okay, remember you have to move over, so I want you to try this on your own and try to find the solution. Now let's move on. I want you to try number 2 then on your own. Let's move on to the back page. Number 5, number 4. I'm gonna try to do number 4 with you, so try to do number 3 on your own. So y equals, again, so let me clear that. It's 3 square root of x plus 1, move over. So it's the same concept, minus x. This should be easy. And on the other one, let me clear it and put 1, graph it. Now as you can see, you can't really see it because you zoomed out, so zoom in again. So number 2, and then press enter. As you can see, it's gonna only meet at 1 point. Here it stops here, so there's no intersection. This is the point of intersection. So you go to second, trace, which is number 5, and then 5. Then try to move the cursor to the point of intersection. It doesn't really matter, but if it ever gets stuck, then just know that your problem is that the cursor has to be there. But as long as you can see a first curve and you press enter once, second curve you press enter again, and then guess you press enter 3 times, and then it will give you the intersection, which is x equals 8. So x is equal to 8. Now that would be it. This is the lesson. Now I'm going to try to do this one with you. So let's see which ones are you going to be doing from this page. You have to do number 3 on your own, but remember it's all on the calculator, so it's not much work. And then let me move this down. So over here I did number 1 with you, so try number 2 on your own. So this gives you like maybe 5-6 questions to do on your own, but it's the same concept. I really want you to try 4.8a alone, algebraically, and then check your work on the calculator, but 4.8b you can use the calculator for that. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Come to class prepared to ask me a lot of questions. Remember, this video is just to prepare you for the lesson, but we're going to do all of those questions in class. See you on Monday.